In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that irregardless to land, language, or label, creed, class, or color, race, religion, or ritual, that there is but one God. We thank that one God for all of the messengers, the prophets, the warners, and we thank him for all of the revolutionaries and the freedom fighters and those brothers and sisters that struck a blow for our freedom here in the wilderness of North America, like the man named Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser. We're thankful to him for Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. We're thankful to him for Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., but I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man that really is the synopsis of all of those men wrapped up in one human being. And we thank him for his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the man that taught him, named Master Farad Muhammad. Before I began, I wanted to just ask brothers if you all would do us a favor, and let's give a great round of applause for our sister, Mrs. Goins, the great principal here. Let's give her a round of applause for letting us come in today. And we don't have a whole lot of time together, brothers, but for just a few short moments, I wanted to drop something on those of you that are on your way into manhood in just a few short moments. Did you know, brothers, that there are more black males born than there are black females? But by the time the two reach the age 18, black females outnumber black males 7-1. That means that as black males, we're dying at the rate of an endangered species. Do you know that there's never been a species, whether it's the koala bear, the bald eagle, the white tiger, or the blue whale, that has went endangered unless somebody's hunting for them? And if you search Instagram, if you search through your Snapchat, if you search through social media, almost every day we can see somewhere, somehow, somebody that look like us is being murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. Police department. That's right. Did y'all catch what I just said? Yeah. Did you just got finished seeing our brother Terrence Crutcher just killed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Keith Scott just killed in Charlotte, North Carolina. Trayvon Martin killed. Freddie Gray, Tamir Rice, Walter Scott. Think about all of these soldiers that look like you and me. They got killed for insignificant things. And if there's more black males born than black females, but by the time they both reach age 18, black females outnumber black males 7-1, somebody's hunting us. What's bad is when the police kill us. But what's worse is that we kill ourselves more than the police do. That's right, come on. Do you know that in a 3-year cycle of time, 2,000 to 3,000 black males are killed by police officers or correctional officers? But in that same 3-year cycle of time, 25,000 black men are killed by other black men? Well, if, brothers, think about this for a second. As you are getting ready to move out into the world as a man, if you are being hunted on one side by the police, and then on the other side you're being hunted by your own brother, then there has to be some survival strategies that we have to employ if we desire to be, do, and have what it is that we want to be, do, and have as black men. What do y'all think? That's right. So today, brothers, for the few moments, we wanted to drop a few jewels or nuggets of wisdom that if you apply these principles, I don't care what you want to be or what odds are against you, there will be no force in the earth beneath nor the heavens above that will stop you from achieving your goals and objectives. Number one, in this world that you live in, they'll tell you that experience is the best teacher. That's a bold-faced lie. Experience might be the most effective teacher, but it's not the best teacher. You've never seen a commercial for a Benz or for a BMW or a Chrysler, and they want to show everybody how good the airbags work or how good the seatbelt is, and you got the CEO of the company inside the car running it into the wall. Every time you see them trying to show you how good the airbags or the seatbelt works, they always have them little yellow plastic dudes in there with them yellow and black stickers on them, right? They call them crash what? Dummy. Crash what? Dummy. So the lesson is that when you learn from your own mistakes, that makes you a crash dummy. So there's a saying that fools learn from their own mistakes, while wise people learn from others' mistakes. We have in our book, the Holy Quran, a verse that says this, that travel the earth and study the ends of those that have gone before you. Did y'all catch that? Yes, sir. That means travel the earth, look around you, and look at the end product of the grown-ups that you're looking at. And if you find somebody that you want to be like, find out what they were doing when they were your age and what they wish they would have been doing, and you get busy doing what they did and what they wish they would have done, and you will become what they are at an earlier age than they did it. That makes sense? But on the flip side of that, find people that you don't want to be like and ask them what were they doing whenever they were your age. And if you can find anything that they were doing when they were your age that you're doing right now, you have to make an immediate adjustments in your habits, because more than likely you en route to being what they are. That's what happened to me. Before I came into the nation, at the age of 11 and 12, I used to sell weed. When I was 15 and 16 years old, I sold powder cocaine. Me and my partner, we sold a ½ ounce a day on the weekdays and an ounce on the weekends. Now, if anybody that don't know what that means that's $5,000 to $6,000 a piece that we were making in a week cycle. But what happened to me, one day, brothers, I was sitting on the porch, and this is way before y'all time. We didn't have no cell phones back then. This is 1989, 1990. Y'all may not know nothing about something called beepers. Yeah. Any of y'all heard sky pagers? There's a little thing, little garage door opening looking things. You had to pull it off and hit the button, and then you knew based off the code what somebody was trying to get, and then you had to go to the payphone and call them back, and then you meet them somewhere. Well, this day, I decided to turn off all my pagers, and I sat down on the porch, and a thought came to my mind. I wonder what the dope fiends were doing when they were my age. And this day, instead of hustling, I took a tour of the hood. And as I was moving through the hood, I went to the main trap house that was in my neighborhood. And when I got to the trap house, I asked the brothers that was smokers, I said, brothers, let me ask you something. What were you doing whenever you were my age? And one of them said, oh, young blood, we was getting it just like you. I said, wait a minute. So you saying that you used to be hustling? It's like, yeah, we used to be hustling. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, so you went from selling to using. But, you know, naturally, if you're making $5,000 or $6,000 a week at 16 years of age, it ain't convincing to just hear one dude tell you that that's what happened. So I had to go to another spot. And I went to the liquor store around the corner. And I asked the brothers at the liquor store, I said, brothers, let me ask you a question. What were y'all doing when y'all were my age? And he said, oh, you know, to be honest with you, we was getting money just like you. And it dawned on me at that point, brothers. I said, well, wait a minute. If they were doing when they were my age what I'm doing now, I'm en route to doing what they're doing when I get their age. And I don't know if you ever heard of a dude named Bishop Bullwinkle on YouTube. Yep. He said, hell no, to the no, to the no. Well, he wasn't out back then, but that was what I said to myself. Ain't no way in the world. Now, wouldn't it make sense that if I'm selling, the end cycle is if I'm killing other people, don't it make sense that if what goes around comes around, that at a certain point I'm going to start using too? So at that point, I immediately got out the game, and wanted to make my life right. I'm saying to you, a fool learns from their own mistakes, but wise people learn from others. So interview people. Find people that you don't want to be like, and ask them what kind of grades was they getting. How often did they go to school? What was their goals and their aspirations? What habits did they have? And if you find anything in a person you don't want to be like that matches what you're currently doing right now, that's a sign that you have to make some immediate adjustments in your behavior. Otherwise, then you are en route to being what they are whenever they are your age. Does that make sense? Brothers, it makes sense? Second principle. Be careful who you kick it with. Your vibe will attract your tribe. And then your tribe will dictate your future vibe. Whoever you are around, you are going to become like. So if you want to be something, you got to put yourself in the company of people that are trying to be what you're trying to be. Otherwise, whoever you are around, you're eventually going to be like them. There's a man by the name of Charlie Jones who has a big book publishing company. And this man did an assessment on people and found this out. What you will be in the next 5 years is going to be a compilation of the books you read and your 5 closest friends. So if you mix the knowledge of whatever books you read and multiply that by the characteristics of your 5 closest friends, put all of that together, that's you in 5 years. So if you want to be something, you got to first make sure that your inner circle, your main partners, the people that you call your friends, are people that are trying to be what you want to be. And then on the other side of it, you got to recognize this: leaders are readers. You got to pick up some books and get the knowledge that you want to get. The great rapper, our brother T.I., he said this. He said, what you don't have is a direct result of what you don't know. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the same thing. He said a little bit different. He says, poverty is not a lack of money. Poverty is a lack of know-how. So if you acquire the know-how, you can get anything that you want to get. But if you look at your 5 closest friends and you multiply that by the books you read, if you read no books and everybody you around ain't trying to be nothing, more than likely in 5 years, that's what you're going to be. But if you can look in your inner circle and find that your 5 closest partners have the same goals and aspirations as you, and you are taking time 30 minutes a day to pick up a book to get some knowledge of self or some knowledge of business or some knowledge of the laws of success, then in 5 years, more than likely, you're going to have that business be successful and achieve them goals and aspirations. Y'all got that, right? Yeah. So number 1, experience is not the best teacher. A fool learns from their own mistakes, while wise people do what? Learn from others. Y'all pay attention up here, brothers. Y'all pay attention right here. I don't have to come here. I'm here for free. And I'm telling you, brothers, to be honest with you, if somebody had came when I was y'all age and told me what I'm telling y'all, and I could have applied it before I got to the age that I am now, I would be way farther in life than what I am right now. So what you are getting a chance to do is learn jewels and nuggets of wisdom that it takes most people 50 or 60 years to learn. But if you get it at 17 and you will apply it at 17, then whatever it took that 50-year-old person 10 years to achieve and they became 60 to get, you'll get it when you're 27 years of age. That's the value of the lesson. So the number 1 lesson is that a fool learns from their own mistakes, and wise people do what? Learn from others. So always study people that have gone before you. If you don't want to be like them, find out what they were doing when they were your age. And if you're doing the same thing, make the adjustment. If you want to be like them, find out what they were doing whenever they were your age and you make the adjustment to start duplicating. Does that make sense? Number 2, make sure that you surround yourself with people that's trying to be something. And if you surround yourself with people that are trying to be something, and you're willing to commit your mind not just to listening and watching, but to reading books, you can mix those books together with the 5 closest friends characteristics, and that's going to be you in the next 5 years. Last but not least, brothers, last but not least, this is a revolutionary statement that I learned from my teacher, the Honorable Minister Nuri Muhammad, that if you allow this mindset to be a rule or axiom that governs your life, there will be nothing that you want to be, do, or have that you won't be able to achieve. And that law and that rule and that axiom that will defeat all spirit killers, dream snatchers, haters, and whoever else pops up in your life is this: there's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. There's nothing more powerful than a what? There's nothing more powerful than a what? A made-up mind. Now, y'all don't sound like y'all believe it. Well, let's see if we can prove it to be the truth. Do you know in physics, has anybody taken physics yet? Raise your hand if you've taken physics. Anybody else? Well, in physics, the formula for power is P equals W/T, or power equals work divided by time. That means that when you want to find the most powerful object in the universe, you have to find the fastest moving object. And if you find the fastest moving object, you have found the most powerful object. Now, I said that there's nothing more powerful than a what? Than a made-up mind. Well, let's see if we can prove it by the law of science. We came in off the highway in something called a vehicle, car, truck. Do you know a car can go 250 miles per hour? Well, that's fast. And the bigger the engine, the faster the car can go. And when a car has a bigger engine, we say that that car has more horse what? Power. So the size of the engine dictates the power, and the power dictates the speed. But then there's something else that you can use as transportation and it moves faster than a car. What y'all think it is? A plane. Did you know planes travel on the average of 500 miles per hour? So by the law of power equals speed, a plane has more power than a car. Would you agree? But then there's something else in the universe that has the plane and the car beat. Spaceship, but guess what else it is? The planet that we live on. We live on the planet Earth, 24,896 miles in circumference, 7,926 miles in diameter. It has 57,255,000 square miles of land that stick up out of 139,685,000 square miles of water. The Pacific Ocean on this earth covers 68,634,000 square miles. The Atlantic Ocean covers 41,321,000 square miles. The Indian Ocean covers 29,430,000 square miles. There's 1 million square miles of lakes and rivers, 4,861,000 square miles of deserts, 1,910,000 square miles of islands. And with that much land, that much water, this planet weighs 6 sextillion tons, a unit followed by 21 zeros. But because this planet can make one complete revolution on its own axis in 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds, this great ball called Earth is moving at the terrific speed of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour. That's faster than the what? That's faster than the what? The car. So by the law of power equals speed, the planet has more power than the plane, and the plane had more power than the what? But then there's something else in the universe that has the planet, the plane, and the car beat. Guess what it is? Sound. Sound travels at 1,120 feet per second. He said sight, right? Sun. So sound has more power than the planet had more power than the plane had more power than the what? The car. But in order for you to have the sun, you have to have what's called light. So even though sound travels at 1,120 feet per second, guess what? Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. So even though the sun, 93 million miles away from the earth, Even though the sun is 853,000 miles in diameter, that's how big the sun is. Even though the sun has 10 to 20,000 mile high flames coming off of its surface, even though the sun burns at 14,072 degrees, one ray of light can travel 93 million miles from the sun to the Earth's equator in 8 minutes and 20 seconds or 500 seconds flat, because light travels at 186,000 miles per second. But guess what? There's something else in the universe that even has more speed than the light, the sound, the planet. What else? Plane and the what? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, thought travels on the average of 24 billion miles per second. And since there's nothing in the universe moving faster than the speed of 24 billion miles per second, which is the speed of thought, then we're not guessing or playing when we say it. There really is nothing more powerful than a what? Made up mind. So I'm saying that to say that when you've got your mind made up, no matter whether somebody from your house, somebody from your hood, somebody in the school, it makes no difference who says what you can or cannot do. If your mind is made up, there's nothing that you won't be able to be, do, and have. Brothers, listen to this. Every thought you think becomes a word. Every word you speak will become an action. All actions become habits. Habits form your character, and your character will dictate your destiny or your future. If inside the brain there is 14 billion brain cells that have 24 billion miles per second thoughts moving around them, every time they make that circular motion inside of the head at 24 billion miles per second, your thoughts began to produce two forces. One's called centripetal and the other's called centrifugal. When something spins and produces centrifugal force, it makes things repel away from it. But when something spins and produces centripetal force, it draws things to it. Whatever is the nature of what you think, you will begin to repel people, situations, and circumstances that are opposite what you're thinking about. And whatever you are thinking about, you will begin to attract people, situations, and circumstances that match the nature of your thoughts. So whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, or whatever you want to have, all you have to do is keep it rotating on your mind. And if it rotates on your mind at 24 billion miles per second, 3 or 4 times a day, it's only a matter of time before those thoughts become words, those words become actions. Those actions become habits, those habits become your character, and your character becomes your real future. Thank you, brothers, for listening. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. So that was the monologue side. What we wanted to do, brothers, is open up the floor for any questions that you may want to ask about what was said today, or about something that popped up in your mind as we were talking that you may want to know. Yes, ma'am.
I've got to ask you, I want to thank you for coming to my school. These are my babies. It's a Friday, and so after lunch, some of them are being a little, but they're gonna be real respectful, and they're gonna appreciate you being here.
Well, you know, the beauty of it, brothers, is that the truth is so powerful that even if you don't pay attention to it, it's going in your head anyway.
That's right. That's right.
So we really not tripping like that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even do what I do primarily for the effect that it's gonna have. Okay. I do what I do because this is a debt that I owe to the Creator. For allowing me to even live. Wow. But if I can I'm telling you, you're going to see, as you start living life, circumstances and situations are going to come, and it's going to provide water and sunlight for the seeds that have been put into your mind right now. And you'll be able, you may not even remember that it was Brother Nuri, or it was them Muslim brothers, or it was at school I learned it. But when circumstances of life hit you, the thoughts are going to pop back up in your mind.
That's right.
And if you act on those thoughts that circumstances brings light to, you're going to be a successful man in this world. But hopefully, brothers, the goal is for you to see that whether you got money in your pocket, whether you got parents that have any care for you, love for you, whether you got a father that you know, all of those things are circumstantial. If your mind is made up, absent father, living in poverty, drug addict mother, haters in the hood, haters in the house, it won't nothing stop you if your mind's made up.
That's right.
you will find a way to be successful if you have that made up mind. So is any other brothers, did y'all have any questions about anything? Yes, sir.
How do you know all the numbers and facts?
He said, how do I know the numbers and the facts? Well, to be honest, we learned them in the nation. And I just decided to memorize them. And I was in a school like this, but I was trying to prove that there's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. And as a result, I started to think these numbers to prove that with the planet having all of that, moving at 1,037 1/3 miles per hour, that it has more power than the other objects that we're looking at. So he said, I collected my data. And basically, it's kind of like this. If you intend on being a master of something, you got to know all the dimensions of it. So if you buy a house, or when you buy your first house, first thing they're going to do, they're going to give you the blueprint. They're going to show you where everything is, the square footage, and what this is. And by knowing where things are, then you can better conquer that environment. So we learn about the land, the water, the deserts, the islands. Why? Because we intend on conquering this environment. That's right. So by knowing those dimensions, it helps us to walk around and look at them with, it becomes the planet, but it ain't, something that can't be accomplished. So that's why I learned those facts. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Sir? He said, I'm 41 years old. 41. I have a 21-year-old daughter, a 20-year-old son, and a 16-year-old daughter, and a 1-year-old granddaughter. Do I look 41?
No.
But,
About 22.
but I'm going to be honest with you. We have something called How to Eat to Live.
That's right.
And this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's formula for eating. I don't eat no swine. That's pork. I haven't even eaten no meat since I was 17 years old. I'm 24 years, I haven't eaten no meat. I eat one meal a day, and I exercise and I run. And I try to eat right, think right, and do right. And if you work where you live a right life, eating right, thinking right, doing right, then you'll be able to get older without getting old.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They asked me on TV in Chicago the other day, he's like, brother, what are you trying to accomplish? He said he thought I was 20-some years old too. I said, brother, I'm trying to die young at an old age. So you don't have to get old just because you get older. You can defeat the clock with knowledge. So I've been trying to eat right, think right, and do right, and it's blessed me to be young. And I'm telling you, I think that if y'all wanted to go to the court, I can hang. I can hang. We can run forward. If y'all want to go outside, I promise you, there's nobody here that could beat me in running. You might be in speed, but you can't beat me in distance. I run marathons, 26.2 miles.
Wow.
And I run marathons in my mile pace is 8 minutes and 34 seconds. That means that if you put the treadmill on 7.0, I run on the treadmill at 7.0 for almost 4 hours straight.
Wow.
So I got a little win, but all that comes from trying to think right, eat right, and do right. Yes, sir.
You vegan?
I'm not a vegan. I'm a fish-eating vegetarian. I still eat fish, and I eat dairy products. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, sir. The man's Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you like anything that I had to say, you're going to love everything he has to say, because that's my teacher.
That's right.
So if you Google him, just put in Farrakhan, Farrakhan. You're going to see lectures. And y'all can put my name in, Nuri Muhammad, and you can put it on YouTube, and there's, literally thousands of different lectures that I've done that are on there that people have put up all around the country. So, check me out. It's free. Yes,
When
ma'am.
you changed your life, what about your friends and the people who you hung out with, sold drugs with, did whatever you did with? What happened to them?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened, to be honest. My main partner that I was with, it was 3 of us. One of them's dead. But my main partner that I was with, he didn't want to stop hustling. So he stayed. in the streets. And when we went to high school, that next year, the feds came into high school and arrested him. He went to serve a juvenile, he went to juvenile until he was 18 years of age. And look at this. 2 days before he got out of juvenile, he spent his whole high school years in the juvenile center. 2 days before he got out, his mother died.
Wow.
2 days before he got out, his mother died. So he never had the opportunity to even show his mother that he was going to make a whole different version of himself. So when he got out, he ended up being clean a little while, getting back in the streets, and then we met up again. And now he's a member of the Nation of Islam. But my other partner, he's dead. All of the neighborhood I grew up in, if you've ever seen the movie New Jack City, that was the way my neighborhood looked that I grew up in Indianapolis. So 12 of the people that I grew up with, that we used to eat each other's cereals, 12 of the people I grew up with, when I got in the Nation at 17, they were always making mockery of me because I was out selling papers. They had, you know, I mean, these brothers was 18 years of age driving $80,000 cars. They had 4 or 5 houses. They had a money counting room where they got the youngsters from the neighborhood to count money every week, and they counted at least a couple of $1 million a week at an apartment. But when all that hit, a couple of years later, the FBI came and did a sweep, and look at this, locked every last one of them up in 1994 and gave them life sentences. Every last one of them is still in jail right now. They've been in jail for 22 years. Now, I went to speak at the prison, and the main brother that's in there, when I spoke, he broke down crying. And afterward, he came up to me and hugged me, and he said, "I'm supposed to be you. I'm supposed to be you." See, the dope man, he got the right program, he just got the wrong product. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with buying wholesale, selling retail, creating a down team, a sales crew. The more they buy, the cheaper you give it to them. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just the problem that what you're doing is killing your own people. So all of them are in, they serving life sentences right now. The main brother does not have an out date. All the other ones got life in the federal penitentiary. You know what life in the feds is? It's 35 years. And in the federal penitentiary, you don't get good day, bad day, like you do in the state penitentiary. In the federal penitentiary, you got to do 78.11% of your time. So if you get a 35-year sentence, you got to do 28 years and 7 months. That's how long you in jail. So these brothers are in jail, 10 of them for 28 years and 7 months. And the other ones, their out date is deceased. So that's what ended up happening to them. And I go and I speak to them. They in Terre Haute Penitentiary, Big Sandy Penitentiary. They in Lexington Penitentiary. They in Manchester. They in Ashland. I'm in there teaching. And I asked the brother that was the boss, I said, "Brother, let me ask you something. Was it worth it?" He said, "Not one day of the life I lived was worth being in here. There ain't nothing that I would do or wouldn't do to get time back to start all over again. It's not worth it." I got good news though. The brother that was the head of the whole neighborhood, his name is Anthony. He has a son named Anthony Jr. His son Anthony Jr. is about 23 years of age. And he's in the Nation of Islam with us. And yesterday, Anthony Jr. had his first baby, and he named his baby after me. So, you know, unfortunately, the cycle became that sad reality. So I'm saying that to you. Don't look. You can't take the wrong road and expect to end up in the right place. it's better to work hard for it, even if it takes longer. Because once you get it, you got it. Than to go about it some quick, easy, wrong way. And then as soon as you get it, they take it all from you and then take your whole life from you. And ain't nothing more valuable than your freedom. So that's what happened to the brothers that I grew up with. Unfortunately, I only have maybe, honest truth, maybe 3 or 4 people that I grew up with out of the 30 people that was close in my neighborhood. 12 of them in jail. The 3 or 4 that's out, most of them come to the mosque, and the other ones are dead. So it's on y'all. It's on y'all. If y'all want to operate with a made-up mind, learn from others' mistakes instead of your own, get you some good friends and keep your head in some books, you'll be successful. If you don't, then more than likely we'll be headed toward the penitentiary or toward the cemetery or living a mediocre life. That's on you. So thank you.